So good morning, good morning, good morning. We are live on social media and it's Monday, the 5th of February, and I'm struggling just a little tiny bit on account. Good morning, Janetta, good morning, David. I'm struggling just a little bit in that I've got some lights shining down on me, and that's okay because we're live not only on Clubhouse, but we're live on Facebook and on Twitter and on Twitch and on StreamYard and on Instagram, which is very exciting. It's wonderful to see new and old friends here today this morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Just raise your hand if you are one of my moderators. Good morning, Jew. Good morning, Alexia. I will just invite you up. We are here and we're live Monday, the 5th of February. It's already February. January is over. We are already a 12th of the way through the year, and you are with Starting Again. And it's not that this room hasn't been here. Please share the space if you know how. If you pop at the bottom of this screen, it says share, and you're welcome to do that. So I'm Mandy Jane, and I'm the founder of Accessibility Partners and Inclusion. And on the stage with me this morning is Jew Goodwin. He's a director of inclusion, and Alexia Franklin, and she is a colleague of mine, and she also works with me across Accessibility Partners. Alexia is the earth healer, and she helps people understand how the earth impacts the world and how we impact the earth. I couldn't be more proud that she's here. Now this morning, I'm going to say good morning actually before we even begin, because it's only a couple of minutes past 6. Can you believe it's 2 minutes past 6 and it's the 5th of February? But I've been up quite a while. I don't know about you. How long you been up, Jew? I think I saw a message from you at 20 past 3, didn't I?
Not today.
Well, you're not awake. How have you been? Did you sleep well?
I have been alive since about midnight.
A long night then for you.
February.
Well, I guess we'll be starting again then. The title of the room. Share the space. Good morning. It's great to have you alongside me. Alexia, good morning, my love. How are you? Well, she's busy, I think. Maybe Alexia's busy. Marie, are you there?
I'm putting links up.
You do right. You put the links up. So let's get going.
Sorry, mate.
Oh, it's all right. Good morning.
I was taking a leap out of your book. I was trying to do 3 things at once. It don't work.
Don't know what you're talking about.
No, I know you don't.
Well, there we are. I have been doing 3 things at once. I'm going to go into that actually a little bit later. In that, I have some things that I've been doing in the background. So I'm going to start. Please do share the space. But it doesn't matter whether we've got one here, we're in an intimate room, or whether we've got 1 million people. We are live everywhere, so it depends on where people are. And often, I see people coming about 5 past. Good morning, James. So.
Can you make me a mod?
Oh, I already have.
It's not working.
Just refresh. Just refresh.
You?
Are we there? Just refresh. Okay, good. So this morning is exciting because I find myself on the threshold of something new, truly new and exciting. But I think that needs courage. Okay, so I'm Mandy Jane, and I am Director of Accessibility Partners. My colleague Marie, my right-hand woman, has just put a link to our charity. Good morning, Naomi. And Accessibility Partners also funds and supports inclusion. Jew is a Director of Inclusion, as are other people that are in inclusion, such as Christian Burton, who will be there tonight. We will be in inclusion at 7 o'clock tonight. It may be 6 o'clock in the morning, and inclusion might be 13 hours from now, but that's what we do on a Monday. We go into inclusion. We do a little bit of a refresh of what's happened this morning for those that aren't there, and we then we reset, and that's what we're going to be doing tonight, because today is the first day of the rest of my life. No, it isn't. It's the first day of my placement. And I think that when we are resetting our lives or starting something new, it takes courage. So if you are here with a feeling that resets what you needed, then be rest assured you're in the right place at the right time. And for those that are others in the room, then don't forget to join the house, because you need to be a member to know when we're here. When we're here, if you're not a member and you haven't hit the bell to say always remind, it's really difficult to find Clubhouse now. So you're in the perfect place to begin this journey that we are embarking on together. So reflecting on my own path up to this moment, I acknowledge that what I am now is not what I hoped I would be. I know that I was skeptical about the field of coaching, and I am a coach because I had a background in psychotherapy and counselling, and I devoted countless hours to that clinically supervised work that I had to pay for, right? So I was doing voluntary work, 450 hours of it clinically supervised. I had to pay for my clinical supervisor. I had to have an hour of clinical supervision for every 5 days or something. I can't remember, but it was an awful lot. So I had reservations about coaching and about the depth and the seriousness of coaching, actually, because I believed naively that the realms of therapy and teaching were of a higher pedigree, because I needed those educational prerequisites and the depth of that clinical engagement and reflection. So I was biased. And yet I would say that my experiences in the therapy world led me to a bit more of a realization that actually, when I was trying to navigate my personal and my professional life and working out who and what and how I was, and I'm a disabled individual. I'm a SENDCO, a special educational needs coordinator, and now today I'm stepping into a new role for the local authority, just temporarily, as a social worker in practice and in training. But through my years of coaching and teaching and counselling, and then moving into mentoring and coaching, I realised that there really is a space, I think, between the questions we ask ourselves and our direction and our readiness for change. And I think that in therapeutic settings, more traditional ones, I wasn't as able to be inspired towards change. But I also think that when we are aspiring to change, and I am today, new placement, new role, new environment, I've realized that instead of armoring up, instead of putting on a brave face, instead of putting a gap between me and those that I am meeting, I realized that vulnerability and courage in that vulnerability to engage in our messiness, in that pursuit of growth, is the most important thing. So I feel vulnerable today, and Brené Brown teaches us that's not a sign that I'm weak, but that I'm brave, and that I acknowledge to be myself, I have to include the fears I have as I step forward into this unknown. You know, the journey of starting anew, especially when you are a little fish going into a big pond with fish that know exactly what's going on in that pond. They know where everything is and what to eat and when to eat it and who's coming along and what time the sun's coming out. It's not just about being courageous. It's about having a deep sense of self-awareness and of professional curiosity. My self-awareness in this fear factor today is necessary, not so that I run away, but so that I can ask for support from my colleagues around me, lean into my team and ask them for support today, and then lean into my friends and explain that I'm feeling vulnerable. Asking myself, what is it? What story am I telling myself? What has brought me to this point? It's not just curiosity, but actually it's a way of me building my understanding and my connection of that understanding between me and the people that I am meeting with today. That connection's key, and it's connection for me has been key all of my life. Vulnerability and feeling that I'm nervous means I have to forgive myself for that, and understand that even though I'm starting afresh, and I've done that again and again and again, and I've learned lots of skills in going to new places and starting new things, that it's okay that I feel nervous. And this forgiveness of myself is often highlighted, isn't it, in religious and spiritual contexts. It's been foundational in my approach to resilience. I was baptized by full immersion at 15. I certainly went to God and said, can I start again? And it was that element of being able to wipe the slate clean, metaphorically, and say, here I am, renewed to start again, viewing those failures as opportunities for growth rather than setbacks. That way I was able to navigate those challenges and still have a sense that I could renew my purpose, start again, and start with a new clean slate. Because the journey for me can't be about the destination, because my destination grows and changes and evolves. So I think it has to be about the steps I take. Every day I take different steps, but some of them are the same. I still challenge myself, and that's the way I move towards victory of those single steps. Rumi said that every single step is important, and that every journey starts with a single step, but that it takes you to have an open heart and to be able to embrace that unknown, not be frightened of the unknown, because that's where transformation begins. So if you are thinking about starting again, whatever it is, whether you've had something thrown in your path and scuppered you for a few weeks, I know there's a couple of people on the stage for whom that might be the case. I'm one of them. Just see that as an invitation to redefine that plan that you're making. Change is only a decision away. I really like that. Change is but a decision away. And what do you stand to lose? Well, a future that no longer serves you, maybe. Today, I stand to lose the ability to not know what goes on in my local authority. For the first time, I will be able to see that from the inside out now. As a coach for Accessibility Partners, I help support and guide individuals through the complexities of disability, and for those with a disability of having a disability in a pretty much ableist world, turning those failures or those limitations into stepping stones for success. I think for me, vulnerability is that catalyst for change. Because when we're together, and I'm going to be asking pertinent questions today, and I already did lots of preparation last night with my portfolio, asking questions about how I meet the requirements of Social Care Wales in this role. I think that's ways that we understand the world more readily, and we can move towards inclusion. I'm definitely ready to take a new step forward with a new beginning on a new path. But that's going to mean a messy period of growth. It's going to mean I'm going to be rumbling with vulnerability, because unless you're willing to for it to sting a bit, what's the point in going in the arena? If we know that we're going to pass, if we know we're going to succeed, then that's not really rumbling, is it? And I don't think there's any path worth going on that we know the answer to, that we're walking down. I feel that failure is a pathway to success. I feel that we are here right now, wherever you are watching from. I am welcoming you, and I'm grateful for you here, and I'm grateful that you're listening. I'm grateful that you're here for yourself. And if you're interested in that reset, if you feel that you are an individual who would like to know what those possibilities are, then let's embark on this journey together, because I think it takes courage. I think it takes resilience, and that comes from a commitment to being authentically ourselves, no matter what the challenges we face. I am really grateful that people are showing up today, and that you're willing to even walk alongside me metaphorically on this journey. Connecting with new people every day, I'm fascinated. And every day I wake up with a renewed sense of a reset, of a refresh, of a new start, of a knowledge that my God of my understanding loves me right here, right now, just exactly the way I am, knowing that I am willing to learn. I think our vulnerability is our greatest strength, and our failure is our most profound learning experience. Before I tell you a story, I want you to ponder some questions. What has brought you to this point in your life? It's a question I'm going to be asking myself when I meet every new individual that I support and every new user group in the next few months. How did we get here? And how do you and yours and I perceive the word failure? What is failure except success turned upside down? And how has this shaped your journey, your understanding of failure, your embracing of failure, your embracing your vulnerabilities? What ways maybe can embracing that vulnerability transform your life, my life? And what does starting anew mean for you today? What areas of your life are you looking to reset? And for me, a very important one is how can we collectively, and Alexia will agree with me on this one, contribute to building a more inclusive and empathetic world? You know, those reflections on those questions are going to be the guiding light on this path today. And I know we're going to be exploring those answers together. I want you to hold an openness, a curiosity, and a readiness for that growth. But in the meantime, I'm going to talk to you about the keep trying starfish. This story speaks of wishes being granted, but also the understanding that you have to try again and again to receive what you desire. The process of trial and error will lead you to fulfillment. There's a story of a young maiden who prayed and prayed to the stars to heal her so she could fully serve her purpose. She tried everything, well, nearly everything, but failed to ever feel whole. One day, the young maiden received a starfish from the stars. She thought to herself, "This must be what will heal me." The young maiden inspected the starfish, sang to the starfish. She danced with the starfish in the hopes that that would heal her. But nothing happened. As a last resort, she took a small bite from the starfish's arm. Still nothing happened. The young maiden cried out to the stars and cursed them for her inability to be healed. She fell to her knees and begrudgingly threw the starfish into the pond before her. As she wept in despair, her gaze fell upon the starfish subtly moving in the waters. As she watched it regrow the arm she had taken a bite of, the medicine of the starfish was revealed to her. It was at this very moment she had a deep expansion of consciousness. By witnessing the starfish regenerate, she understood the message from the stars. She could heal herself. The ability to do this was not outside of herself. It was always within. This was when the young maiden began to heal. So whether you're healing, manifesting, or creating a meaningful relationship, the starfish's medicine is to keep trying. Understand that all you deem to be failures lead you closer to the right action, If the young maiden didn't take multiple approaches, she would never have been led to the answer that lies between. So keep on trying. And back to those questions. Thank you for being here. What has brought you to this point? How has failure shaped your journey? What are the ways embracing vulnerability? In what ways can embracing vulnerability transform your life? And what areas are you starting to reset? And how collectively can we make a more inclusive and empathetic world? There are lots of stories, but I think if we think about the starfish story, try this way, that way, and this way, and then when there is a way, you usually find it wasn't about anything else except that which we had all the time within. I am on the threshold of something truly new and exciting. It's going to take courage. It always does. This takes courage. Being me takes courage. But reflecting on my path is important in order to find that courage. And being with you, being vulnerable right here, right now, being live on social media as we are, being here in Clubhouse in MJ's house at 6 o'clock on a Monday morning, it really is a very freeing affair. And I won't be going on until 7 because we know where we go at 7 o'clock for those that do join us there. And for others, we have other rooms that we go to. So I won't keep you all till 7 because I quite like to pack my bag for college about 1:45. So we're going to carry on until 6:45 and then I'm going to pack for college. I'm going to pack my bag for work. I'm not at college, am I? It's a new beginning, an exciting start. So good morning, Jew. Good morning. How are you? Have you ever started again? Hello.
I think I'm in the process of doing that.
Quite timely, isn't it, really?
Just learning how.
That's it. I think that's the whole point, isn't it? Do we learn how?
Yeah,
Do you think you've been learning the last couple of years?
definitely.
Well, it's funny when you said about that because I had 3 cards this morning. You know, there's always the present card, the immediate past, and the immediate future. You know, because that's what we do, right? And one of them was, of course, the keep on trying. But the one that's the immediate future is the 6 dragons card, which you know that I'm in Wales, right?
Yeah.
And this card says action leads to success. And I think that it says work diligently and don't expect an immediate reward. Dragon does not focus on fantasies of future possibilities, but acts in the now. Disciplined persistence is required. Do the work, but don't focus on how the outcome will manifest. Do the work and life will guide you. And I do think that for me, I have to with this long journey ahead. And you've got a long journey ahead, you. It's not easy. We've never said it will be. Access to work are here, but it's going to be, it's going to be a slog. I think we have to focus on the process rather than the outcome, because I think then the outcomes will take care of themselves. But it's too big to look at the outcomes, I think, don't you?
Yeah.
But each step, a bit like eating that frog first thing in the morning, that's doable, isn't it? Wake up and tackle this day.
Well, I had a bonus yesterday.
Did you?
I met my daughter.
Oh, that's fantastic news. Did you meet her outside or did she come to you?
Outside.
Really? Where did you go? Anywhere nice?
For a Starbucks coffee.
Oh, that's fantastic. And how is she?
Okay.
Study going all right?
Ish.
Always a bit ish. It's hard. University's hard. There's 2 ladies on this stage that will tell you how challenging university is. So at least you know how challenging it is, don't you?
As does my daughter, because she's dropped out for the time being.
That happens to the best of us. I ran away from my A level.
Trying to get back into another one.
Fantastic. You know, in student finance, they always give you a free term. You've got 4.3 terms of 4.3 years of funding, and the 0.3 years of funding are for that first term when you get on the wrong course and you realise you're at the wrong university doing the wrong course in the wrong way, and you need to reset, right?
Yeah.
You don't even pay it if you don't complete that term, then student finance can get paid back if there's mitigating circumstances. So I'm glad you've told me, because with a short letter, she can get her fees back. So we'll help her with that if you'd like us to, if she wants us to, June.
I shall mention it.
It's a few £1,000s money back. It's always nice to have £3,000 back rather than give it away, isn't it?
Yes.
And it also means she won't have a loan for it as well. So we just need a mitigating circumstances letter, and I'm sure that she's got some mitigating circumstances. Her dad's in a care facility for the elderly, isn't he?
Yes.
So I reckon explaining that will probably explain why she's had a faltered start this time. But of course, she's just one step away from success, a change of a course. Now she knows what university is like, she can make a choice, can't she?
Well, it was the avalanche of work combined with an avalanche of work that she couldn't deal with.
It's a new way of learning and a new way of being. You have to really compartmentalize your time and focus on what you've got to focus on, to all of the distraction being eradicated. It's a challenge, HE. It really is. It's a process, but it's very easy to just see the mass of all the work and then become overwhelmed rather than, each step, as we've talked about this morning. It's very easy for that to happen. But like I say, that's why that 0.3 years funding is there, for her to have that faltered start. So maybe she wants to get in touch anyway. The offer's there, so you know that she can apply for that money back.
Thanks, MJ.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad you met her. That's fantastic news. Did it feel good?
It felt fantastic.
Oh, I feel so happy for you.
Absolutely fantastic.
Is she looking well?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, good. I'm glad you had a nice time out, and I'm glad you saw her. It's great. Whatever she's doing, right? She's journeying towards the next bit.
Yeah.
Remember, she could be as young as Alexia and go to university. She's got ages.
I didn't mention that to her.
You've got till you're a million.
Not that brave.
You could go to university, see? It's never too late, is it? It's never too late. Thank you, Ju. It's great that you are next to me, and thank you for listening to my assignment the night before last. It's always nice to teach you about things, particularly things like I've been learning, because it's all very useful. I think when you hear it, it's like two sides of the same coin. You're hearing me learn about serving individuals like you and me. I'm learning how to provide services for myself, which is always useful. Alexia, a journey starts with a single step, doesn't it?
Oh, it sure does. And I think the important thing for people to realise on that is it's always going to change.
Always.
I couldn't have had a bigger change in my life than taking on the thing I originally, and I'm going to say it, hated the most, which was putting pen to paper. So what am I doing in university? What has that got to do with being the earth healer? It's knowledge. It's about understanding me and understanding the world in a different way, and finding different ways to use what we learn, what we know works, and not to be afraid that sometimes what we do doesn't work. The last month back at university has been a tough one for me. I've really struggled with it.
Of course.
It doesn't make any difference whether you're 23 and going to university or whether you're nearer 70 and going to university. Those feelings don't change. I wrote about that actually yesterday to Mandela and the children, that we do have challenges, and in the time we've been helping Mandela, I think that's last week was the fourth week that I actually missed writing to the children. I didn't go into detail and explain why I hadn't written, because some of the younger children would find that too hard. Just to the point that as adults, we struggle as well.
Absolutely, we do.
And it doesn't change. We go through stages of buoyancy and stages of not so buoyant. Don't be afraid of it. Take it on and enjoy it. Because the next day, the next week, it's going to change. My life has changed so much since we met, but my physical health has changed, not in a way I would necessarily want or like. I have to find ways to adapt. You weren't always in a wheelchair,
No.
but you have to accept that that's the way things are now. It doesn't mean life stops. It means we change and do things in a different way. That's why I talk about the planet, because the planet's where we start, it's where we go back to. Everything we have comes from it. Everything you eat, you use, you do, it's part of that planet. It goes back to it. So that's how the Earth Healer came into being, was bringing those connections together, because we're always stronger together. So if you really want to do something for yourself and something for those around you, look after where you live. Don't leave the rubbish on the ground. It doesn't matter who put it there. If you lead by example, things change. I've had that proved to me so many times in my life. Now I can't write a book. Now I can't write people's names down. Yeah, I'm severely dyslexic. You just tell someone, they'll spell you out their name if I can't spell it.
Absolutely.
I use the Alexa. Alexa, do it slowly, because I can't do it when you read it out that quickly. There she goes, you see. So, Alexa, stop. No, can be adapted. So how do you need to adapt your life? And I'm done speaking.
Thank you, Alexia. The last card that I had this morning was the only one with an animal. It wasn't a sea creature. The other two were sea creatures. It was a seahorse on the action leads to success, and it was a starfish on the keep trying. But on the middle one, which actually feeds into what you were just talking about, is entitled The Antelope, which is shake, release, heal, and move on. It talks about the fact that animals learn when they're frightened, they know to stand still and dispel the trauma that they're experiencing by shaking. It's the physiological response to get rid of the energy, but not to be stopped by that fear, not to be like a rabbit in headlights, but to move. And that movement, that letting go of the resistance, is what will help us overcome those current obstacles. So, the university bit, the bit about this morning, about the fact that it's new to me. I've never done this borough. I've never parked this place. I've never been here. I don't know what the day looks like. I don't know what it looks like. It's not a case of just, there will be a period of standing still, of being shocked, of being startled, but I can discharge that energy and move on, and so can you through this.
Well, I send some of my energy to you and everyone that's in this room.
Thank you, Alexia.
The power of that changes what is around you.
It does. When you change your perspective, the things around you change, don't they?
It's so powerful.
It is.
I wish I could find the original note that I wrote when I was turning my life around, saying I wanted to meet a friend who was younger than me, who could do the jobs I can't do.
You did.
I've got him.
You have. You have. Absolutely everything that we wish for, we manifest in whether it's good or bad, right? We bring to us what we bring into our thoughts. I truly believe that. I truly believe. I remember when you labelled yourself the Earth Healer. I remember that. I remember those. It's been 3 years. I can't believe it's been 3 years, Alexia.
But I also had to remember and to be a little bit more humble with it, because my background as a Scot with red hair make me rather fiery, which may be why you and I hit it off so well. But that can irritate people. So I have to remember, I'm going to say try, because it is always a challenge when you want things to change, to keep that humility there as well.
That's right.
Because it not only helps me, it helps the world. It
does. Vulnerability is the strength, I feel. I think that all that trying to hide myself and be strong and big and brave and tough, don't get me wrong, doing it's the doing it. But I don't think we need to do it when it's perfect. I think we need to do it when it's time, which is now. That's what I think. And I think that's the irony. I used to think I had to wait until I got it right. Well, it's the opposite. I got to do it now and then I get better. That's the irony. I didn't want to put myself out on social media, right? Because what if I look funny? What if I talk funny? What if I stumbled over my words? Well, good on me, because I need to lean into that and enjoy it and do it. And the more I hear it, the more mistakes I make, the more I can do it.
I've tried it all, and it doesn't make an iota of difference. If you go back and look at some of the TV presenters, and there was a program last night showing some clips of presenters with animals. You can't predict what's going to happen. And it was one with Esther Ransom where they let all the dogs loose on the studio. She didn't know which way to look when one of the dogs was putting its leg on the plant. She said the plant was never quite the same again.
That's the funniest bit. I think they're the best bits of TV, are the outtakes. That's the thing. If they were never there, we could never watch them, and they would never have the memories of them, right? Yeah, I think outtakes should be intakes, but there we are. I just want to say happy, amazing, incredible club anniversary to Hussein. It's great to see you, and it's great to see that you've got one. I'm guessing it's number 3. I think it'll be number 3, but it'll be amazing if it is. It's lovely to see you. And it's great to see everybody here. I'm going to move on to Marie in a minute, but I just want to say hey to Zara and Pete and Mo and Hussein and Claire and Matt and Sherry and Louise and Denise and Adam and Naomi and David. And of course, James and Marie, who we're yet to get to, and Alexia and Jew. And of course, I'm going to say hello to me. I'm MJ. I'm founder of Accessibility Partners and Inclusion, which you can see on the screen if you're watching us on any other medium. We're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, we're on Twitter, we're on Twitch, we are on YouTube, and we're on Instagram, and we're here on Clubhouse. We're everywhere. We literally are everywhere, concurrently, everywhere, all the time. Everything, everywhere, all the time. And we're talking about resetting, restarting. I'm starting placement this morning. And I've talked about the vulnerability of showing up, whether or not you know you're going to lose or win. Because that's vulnerability, when you know that you might not make it, or it might sting, or you could get a little bit bruised or a little bit battered in the ring. You know, Brené Brown is one of my absolute heroes. And she says, you know, if you show up because you know you're going to win, it's not really showing up to rumble with that vulnerability, as it is more showing up to showboat. And that isn't really for me. I am looking forward to showing up, being who I am, asking some pertinent questions, leaning into my team and asking them to help me understand an arena I have yet to experience. And I think that Marie and James probably can feed into that. I'm just wondering, how is it for you for reset? Are you in a reset? Have you reset before? How are you, Marie? What do you want to share today? Are you there?
Yeah, lovely. My life's been a constant reset. When I sit and think about it, and I was sitting here thinking about it today. And, you know, I've just kept moving forward despite myself. And that's been the rub of it, actually, is because I can tell myself some crazy sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can catastrophize situations. I can make situations much bigger than they need to be. I understand the patterns in my life now around drama and all that sort of stuff. And of course, vulnerability is massive, isn't it? Because none of us actually really want to lean into it. And I thought this morning, MJ's spicy. MJ was spicy this morning. What's actually going on? And it's not until we hear that actually, you're on a 100-day placement, and that's massive for you because you're having to let go of your baby.
There you go.
It is your baby because, this has been your life's work. This isn't, something that's just happened over the last 2 years. It's been your whole entire life's work. And I know how passionate you are about this. And I don't think anyone can really understand until they work alongside you every single day and see how much it means. So it's scary, right?
Yeah,
and then
terrifying.
it puts it all in perspective, because then, you said about a perception shift, and it shifted my perception because I can make everything about myself. And in fact, quite often I do make everything about myself. And that sounds a little conceited, but actually it's frightening. It's frightening how much I can catastrophize situations. And I thought it's all about me. I'm rubbish. I'm shit. All of this sort of stuff that plays out in my head. And I have to be really careful of those narratives and keep moving forward despite myself. And I haven't been feeling well for a while now, and it's just coming out. It's just coming out physically. But yesterday I had to, I'm having to work out decent timing, and I'm having to get really stringent with managing my lifestyle and finding balance. And I knew yesterday was the only day that I could complete part B of my assignment, and it was by far the hardest thing I've done so far. And it took me 9 hours, and throughout that 9-hour period, if we could have had a notebook and written down everything that my mind told me throughout the process of that, keep it moving forward, people would absolutely laugh. They'd be in hysterics, because I was feeling run down. Like I was saying, I can't do this. I don't understand that part. Go back to it. No, you've got that wrong, Marie. Recheck it. Like I put myself in a mental torture. And of course, I woke up this morning and it's done, and it's bloody good. And I'm going to say that just because of the amount of hard work I put into it and the fact that I kept moving forward. I'm proud of the work, whether it's right or wrong. And that's been the premise of my life, MJ. It really has, just like my addiction. I did it a step at a time. I moved forward despite myself. And by far the hardest part of that is not listening or attaching to the story that you tell yourself about yourself. And letting go of outcomes is really important, because when I look back, it's actually, God's got a sense of humour. He really has. When I look back now and see how I think my life's going to pan out, or how my decisions are going to change things. And of course, they always revert direction. And then I'm taught some sometimes painful, but most of the time really valuable life experiences. So that's all I'm going to do today. I feel rotten. I've got a meeting with the school. I'm taking Jack out of school. I'm up with Kent County Council Board today, and I'm ready, and so is Jack ready. And we're just going to keep moving forward. And my life has shown me that when I do that, do you know what? Everything's all right. It just is all right. It doesn't mean that it's panned out the way I've wanted it to, but I am certainly not in the same place as I was 15 years ago, and that's a miracle.
Absolutely. That's what I see in you. I see in you what I see in me, which is somebody that stoically move forward in spite of themselves. And that's not any diss on you. That's just the way it is. We all get in our own way. I mean, get out of my own way is the hardest thing I've ever done, is for me to get out of my own way. I used to believe it was about other people getting out of my way, and actually it isn't. It's about me getting out of my own way, because those stories that I told myself, or still tell myself, that still enter my head, they happen when I meditate, right? I hear that, you've got to do this, there's only that, don't forget that, you haven't got time to do this, you really ought. All of those, again and again, the rhetoric of our daily experiencing. And yet, like you, in those 9 hours, when I really just put the metal to the pedal, and I just get my head down. Yesterday, what I produced, although it's not complete because I've given myself some extra time, it's a work in progress, and I'm impressed by what I've achieved so far, and I'm impressed by what we've achieved together. I can't believe that you are like me, almost halfway through. Like, this next few weeks is going to be telling, I think, for everybody. And you're right, absolutely terrified of the new, because what if my judgment has been incorrect? What if my timing hasn't been good enough? What if is I will change my mind and change my direction and do something differently again, because this too will pass. Whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, it will pass. And whatever we're doing today isn't what we're going to be doing tomorrow. But I know my intentions, right? My intentions are to bring into existence the idea that everybody has a space at the table, a place at the table, a right to turn up, and an opportunity to feed in. And that's what I want to hope to develop in these next weeks, are people's voices and their capacity to speak up for themselves authentically and vulnerably where it's necessary, and to lean into each other. You know, we've got a team of 12 now, 11, 12 people all together, and I think that that we know the focus has been on creating entrepreneurs, people that are disabled, to move into workfulness. And our attempt was to make 100 of those last year, and we smashed that number out of the ballpark. Never could I have imagined, when I said to Father Christmas 14 months ago that would have been smashed out of the ballpark as easily as it was. So that unimaginable number is now doubled and more. So Marie, you are definitely somebody that's going to be alongside me as we smash those narratives, as we move forward and change who and what and how we are, because where we are is not who we are. We know that, and we know that we're going towards an us that is just more palatable, right? It's just easier to live with. I want it to be easy to live with myself. I want to look at myself and say, when I say I'm going to do something, I do it. When I say I'm going to show up, I'm there. When I make a new change, I'll turn up even if it gets down and dirty, because I'm in for the process, not for the outcome. I'm in for who and how I become through that, not for the thing that I get, not the shiny trophy at the end, because I don't think there is a shiny trophy. I think there's only each other. It's great to see everybody that's here this morning. You're in MJ's house, and we are starting again, not because we stopped, but just because I've got the opportunity to start again and again and again and again. I am the head of service for Accessibility Partners, and we exist to help the 1 in 5, that's 26.4 of us, who go to work with a disability, or those that want to go to work with a disability. For those of you that don't know how to do that, or maybe you've got a loved one that doesn't know how to do that, you need to come along to us. And the website is flashing along the bottom of this screen. We also have inclusion, and we're there tonight. Inclusion has the Disabled Entrepreneurs Club, and that is aimed to create one disabled entrepreneur at a time. We need £10,000 each for each one of them. That's what they cost to make, and that means that the government can't bar them from access to work for 5 years, which is what happens if they don't make that minimum income guarantee. That 10 grand gives them the equivalent of our 3 months coaching until access to work come. It takes 12 weeks for them to come, and we hold hands until access to work are here, and then we hold hands with them and help you through that process, help the individuals through the process. We'll be creating hundreds of those, but our first one is yet to be crowned, and we are only a few £100s off. If you can make a donation, please do go to the link at the top of this room, or the link above at the bottom of this screen. So either way, you can go along. Let me just put the right link. There we go. The right link is now flying across the bottom of this screen, not our connection to access to work, but our connection to the Entrepreneurs Club. So if you want to go to that GoFundMe, you will help us crown that disabled entrepreneur and move forward to a new tomorrow, where everybody has got equal right to start a business, to be in business, to be self-employed, to pay taxes, and to contribute to this society. And that's what you're about to do again, isn't it, James? How are you? How's your neck?
Yeah, good morning. What a beautiful room. Well, my neck's Well, it's. I understand now why dogs don't look too proud when they're in one of those things around their neck, one of those ice cream cones. But that's perfectly fine because I'm currently holding the phone in the left hand. And last week, the week before, and the week before that, I could barely hold anything supported in my left hand.
Amazing.
And I can now drink out of this heavy glass bottle, a 16-ounce water bottle that I process all my filtered water in. I can now lift this when it's full, or at the moment, thankfully, it's empty. I've only been up an hour, so that means I'm finally getting enough water into me, because I knew it was when I was at the hospital, but I noticed over the last few weeks, thanks to this beautiful journal I'm holding, that my water levels weren't quite right. And my pain threshold is a very high pain threshold. So thankfully I hardly had any pain relief in the hospital. I think there was 2 lots of morphine late on the Sunday night when I finally give up the will to grit my teeth anymore. And that was after about 8 hours, and I was in agony. But decided then it's time to have a bit of pain relief. But I knew as soon as I started on the pain relief journey that constipation was going to be very sharply around the corner. And that's enough on that subject. But everything, thanks to the journal, I'm realising that everything's moving in the right direction. The only thing that disappointed me all week is that I've been having a solid 9 hours sleep, and I usually have 7.5. And I now begin to accept that is what my body needs at this moment in time.
Good.
It took me all week to realise that I need 9 hours sleep. I can't believe it.
Of course you do. You're recovering. That's how you heal, isn't it?
Anyway, I've accepted it now because, as I say, and I love what you said before. I'm going to have to put the replays on with the rummy, because I've got one of my favourite signs here, and it's raise your words, not your voice. It's rain that grows flowers, not thunder. And it's a beautiful quote, and it just reminds me of what everyone else has been talking about this morning. And thankfully, one of the things that I do keep saying to myself is what I've learned from Julian, really, is all the P's. I am progressing, and that's perfectly fine, as I like to say. So, it's... And it's just great to be on this Clubhouse app as well, because I realised that over the last couple of years that I've been on here and met so many incredible people, it's allowed me really to raise my words and not my voice, which is nice, because you can be quite angry and shouty, really. And then I remember one place I worked at, it just wasn't worth shouting about, because what was that? That machine, I can't remember the name of that machine that answers back at you. But anyway, it doesn't answer back at me anymore from there, because I've got to take it out of the box here and wire it up in the kitchen so I can time my cooking a little bit better, because it is a lovely piece of technology, and I'm going to get that wired up in the next few days. And that was a Christmas gift off my sister 2 years ago that I was like, oh, it'll not work with my Wi-Fi in here, but all my technology other than my phone is working quite well at the moment, which is nice. So hopefully something else will turn up pretty soon, I would imagine, once some other people catch up with our amazing group of people.
That's right.
And that would be really very nice.
It will. And we're moving there. We are, James. Thank you so much for being here every single week. And I hear you. I hear you move forward. I hear we've all grown. We are 5 minutes from the top of the hour. You've been in MJ's house again. We've been starting again. Sound like a Teletubby. And we will be in inclusion at 7 o'clock tonight. I'm on placement this morning. I'm going to be starting again on a new job. And my team will be starting again, because, the stages of forming mean that there's a change ahead. And that means they're going to be resettling into a new way. And I am very grateful to them, because without them, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing today. And without each of you, I wouldn't be doing what we've done today. I am grateful to you for helping me move on and move through my vulnerability into what is, just starting again. And as Hussein said in the chat, every day is a possibility to start again. That's all we've got. change is the only constant. And so I am grateful to all of you for my capacity to start again with you every day in a new way, leaning into that vulnerability, being able to rumble with what is a not a foregone conclusion. I don't know how this is going to go, and as such, it's exciting. That's the stuff that life is made of, right? And I'm grateful to all of you that have reached out. If you don't know what we do, please do reach out. You can get a Zoom with me or one of my team. If you want just a half an hour catch up and just to talk, then I have some Saturday morning slots that you can book into. For those of you that have offered your time and help for us in inclusion, certainly with our new ventures as we head towards the Disability Expo and our event in Cardiff on the 29th of March. If you want to know about any of those events, those happenings, those exciting times, please do get in touch with one of the moderators here. Marie is always up for a message, and so am I. Let us know, and we will be with you with that information. Our plans are growing and evolving, and they're very exciting. So yes, I'm looking forward to all of our events, and I will see you all in MJ's house next Monday at the same time, in inclusion at 7 o'clock tonight, and always on a Saturday morning. We are in Belonging in Business at 8 o'clock. Well, there we are at 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning. I think Adam might be coming up to say something. I'm not sure. It might have been a mistake. We shall see. Maybe not. Maybe it was just an error. But we are going to end this stream now and end this room and bob over to LinkedIn. I will be over there for Mindset Monday with my coach, Pete Cohen, who I always enjoy shooting the breeze with as I am going on my merry way to my placement. Have a great day, everybody. I hope today is, well, just epic for you. Have a great day and go out there and eat that frog. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.